Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Haunted America. On today's episode, we read some Reddit ghost stories of people describing what it was like in their childhood dealing with spirits. All of this, plus our thoughts and comments and more, on today's episode of
Haunted America.
If you would like to call in and leave a voicemail of your own haunting story, give us a call at 716-389-4662. 716-389-4662. Or email us at hauntedamericapodcast@gmail.com. Hi. I know this might not sound true or scary, but experiencing it yourself is terrifying. For context, we have a terraced house, so our house and our neighbor's house are together. It's 2 stories high, 2 rooms upstairs, living room, kitchen, bathroom, and laundry room. When walking up to the house, you will go through the patio, where you will go past the living room window and to our door. We had a few windows in the whole house, but they are all almost normal human height from outside, so people can just stare in. Anyway, that's how I would describe our house. I grew up in that house, so I only know most of these stories from my parents. Thinking about it now, it gives me goosebumps. I was around 3 or 4 years old and I was outside the house playing. My mom suddenly noticed that I was giggling a lot and sounded like I was talking to someone. We know everyone in town, so she didn't think of it too much. But she went outside for a quick smoke. She could see me from the patio, but she couldn't see the person I was talking to. So she called me over to ask who I was talking to. I told her I was talking to an old man, and then he wanted to come inside and play with me and my toys. She thought I was talking to an imaginary friend, so she said yes that he could, not knowing that she had invited a not friendly phenomenon into our house.
Because this old guy was not friendly at all, as a kid I didn't know it, but when I grew older I could tell he wasn't just an imaginary friend. He was an evil spirit. He would knock on our doors and windows, knock things down and move them around. He was the reason I couldn't walk down our stairs forward, only backwards. He would push me down the stairs and make loud thumbing sounds down or up the stairs. When I was 12 years old, we started sleeping in our living room for 2 to 3 years because the old guy stayed upstairs in our bedrooms. I remember I had a lot of sleep paralysis up in my bedroom, where the old guy was scaring me, walking slowly towards me. He had really dark eyes, almost black, around 60 to 70 years old, open mouth and had a raspy old voice. He didn't say much when he did, but in short sentences. I can't remember them, but I know he wanted to tell me something. You'll understand at the end of my story.
I remember one thing from when we slept in our living room. I had an out-of-body experience. I was watching me and my parents sleeping. Suddenly I noticed a shadow at our kitchen door, and I noticed it was looking at my mom. Then I noticed that my mom had sleep paralysis, but this time, it wasn't like the old guy she saw, but a demon with a long cloak and was holding chains in its hands. It swung them like a lasso and threw it at my mom's feet. The chains then locked to my mom's feet and my mom couldn't do anything but watch it, trying to scream. The demon started to pull my mom off the couch and she just laid motionless. As soon as she hit the floor, she could finally scream and woke up my dad and me. She couldn't talk and my dad was so confused, so I told him what I saw. We called the priest to cleanse our house. My mom couldn't walk on her feet for over a week after that experience.
When we were going to move to Denmark from our home city, we had to get our boxes from the attic. And as we were getting them down, we found a picture of the old man. We quickly found our Bible and we said our prayers, burned the picture, and I just felt at peace. I knew he was trying to tell me something, but I still never know why. Later I found out that the old guy was my friend's grandpa, who died years ago, but he lived in the house before us. I go visit his grave whenever I'm in our old city. I don't know why I wrote it here. I just haven't told many stories about this. Has anyone experienced something like this? Thank you for reading. What?
Interesting story.
Hold on. So, this old man was someone who lived in that house before them, yet acts a lot like a demon.
The story's all over the place.
Yeah, this was...
It's all over the place. So really quick before I forget about my point here, talking about the out-of-body experience made me immediately think of going to Nick and Tessa Groff's show, Live with the Other Side, here in Buffalo. And it just made me think about everybody talking about their out-of-body experiences. So maybe that's something we could talk about too, if you guys are interested in hearing more about out-of-body experiences and stuff like that. Anyways, so this, like I said, the story's all over the place. They found the picture of the old man in the attic when they were moving out, and that's how they were... How did this person not know that his friend's grandpa lived in this house before? I mean, okay, I guess he was young at the time,
Right.
but still... I feel like your friend would be like, hey, yeah.
My grandpa lived there,
My
by the
grandpa
way.
lived here. This is my grandpa's old house. We used to come over for Sunday dinner all the time.
And why is your grandpa wrapping chains around my mom's feet and
Trying to pull her away.
and disabling her for like a week? What?
Where is your grandpa trying to take my mom?
What is going on? I'm sorry, this is a crazy story. I don't even know what to think of this.
What the heck is going on in this house?
The house I grew up in, I know there was something in the basement, and I was always terrified, not of going downstairs, but coming upstairs, because something would always chase me upstairs. So I at least related to that part of the story.
It sounds like this grandpa has unfinished business, and it has something to do with this kid's mom.
And doesn't like the friend's mom.
Yeah. What?
Wrap chains around the feet
Of my mom and tried to pull her off the couch.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so maybe okay, all right, I'm starting to suss this out a little bit.
Suss this out a little bit?
Yeah. So the imaginary friend was the 60 to 70-year-old man.
Yes.
And he was trying to tell the kid something, but he never knew what he was saying to him. Now,
Right, old raspy voice.
in a different experience, this cloaked figure is the one that
Oh, it
wraps
wasn't the
chains.
grandpa.
Right. So
there was more than one spirit in this house.
So maybe the old man was the friend's grandpa that was trying to warn him about this cloaked figure that then attacked the mother.
Yeah, so explain this then. They moved into the downstairs living room because they didn't want to sleep upstairs because the old man lived up there. That's where they saw the old man spirit all the time.
Yeah, well, they were scared of the old man.
It sounds like they shouldn't be scared of the old man. They should be scared of the shadow figure that's wrapping chains around people's feet and pulling them away.
Yeah, definitely. So the old man was upstairs. That's where his things were. So that's where he would appear. But they were scared of him, not knowing that there was a much scarier actual demonic figure downstairs where they slept for 2 and 3 years.
Interesting. This comment here. When I had sleep paralysis, I saw a shadow of an old man in a pork pie hat. Okay.
I like chicken pot pie, but all right.
All right. Well, I mean, this isn't a couple things in the story make me question things, but hearing of sleep paralysis and out-of-body experiences is nothing new to this realm. So, I mean, I believe some of these things, but it makes me question a lot. North Jersey in the mountains, our family home was part of a mining railroad system. The old railroad was in our backwoods. Our home was an old slaughterhouse/livestock farm. We dug up skulls and bones my whole childhood. We actually had the ruins of the old slaughter mill in a field with blood drainage system to a pit with lots of bones. There was a blood drainage system in this dude's backyard? My entire childhood, and excuse my language here, my entire childhood, shit would fly off my shelves onto the floor and you'd set an object down on the counter and it would be gone. I actually witnessed these things. Sometimes I would feel someone sit on the edge of my bed too. As a young adult, I constantly burned sage in my room to try to get rid of whatever was stuck in my room. My parents remodeled the house and found a bunch of animal bones buried in the foundation. And by foundation, I mean a pile of dirt with wood set atop of it. Story's interesting. Eventually, I felt the scary thing leave my room, but there was still another spirit present.
During COVID, I moved back in with my parents, and a few times a week I would hear their heavy-ass door open and shut. They had a porch and deck with multiple doors, so air pressure literally could not cause a door slam. I'd hear heavy boot steps downstairs and yell, "Hey, Dad!" No response. Check parents' window that overlooked the driveway, and of course no one would be home. Parents are still in this house and say they constantly find all the kitchen cabinet doors open. Or they hear shit in my old room that sounds like a bookcase falling over, and they'll rush up and everything will be perfectly fine. Or things will go missing and they'll find them in my old room. When they remodeled where the attic and door or staircase became my mini bathroom. My dad never believed in ghosts, but now that he's retired, he 1,000,000% believes we got ghosts. This is written great. He was in the military, so he thinks it's funny and calls the ghost Gladys, but definitely prefers to spend his time outside.
He named the ghost. He named the spirit.
My mom does not think it's funny at all, and I'm just glad I live very far away and I refuse to stay with them when I visit. Alrighty. So,
it sounds like, obviously, on top of their house being at an old slaughterhouse or livestock farm, a possible blood drainage system to a pit with lots of bones near it. It sounds like you got like a poltergeist type spirit living in that house.
The animal bones buried in the foundation with piles of dirt and wood set on top of it sounds like a little bit of witchcraft, maybe.
Witchcraft?
Maybe. Voodoo, I don't know. I can say that the things that they're saying has happened, I've seen and have experienced with the cabinet doors opening and shutting, or sounds like things open and slam and then there's nothing that actually happens. The boot steps, up and down the stairs, of course.
My question would be, what kind of animals were in this old slaughterhouse and livestock farm? Are we talking just like cows, pigs?
You would think.
That kind of stuff? Because now hear me out here. It's going to sound weird. Hear me out. What if these aren't human spirits? What if these are the spirits of the passed on cows and chickens and pigs running rampant in this house?
All dogs do not go to heaven, I guess.
Stop it. They do. Rainbow Bridge. So I'm starting to think that maybe this is just because of where you are and all their bones and everything seem to still be on this piece of land. Maybe the animal spirits are running through the house. And instead of boot steps, you're hearing cow hooves.
But who's yelling, "Hey, Dad," when nobody's home?
No, he would. I'd hear heavy boot steps down the hall and yell, "Hey, Dad," trying to like see if his parents are home.
All right.
To find out that nobody is home and he is there alone with the spirits of cows.
Then things would go missing and then end up in their old room. I've had that happen in my own houses.
Yeah, that's the cows and chickens playing hide and seek with this kid's belongings.
They're much more sentient now than they were in real life.
I don't know. I'm more to believe, like I said, that these are animal spirits. Because unless they were human bones, but it doesn't specify.
Right.
It doesn't specify.
We don't know.
Just says blood drainage system, pit with lots of bones, foundation, pile of dirt with wood and stuff set on top of it. A bunch of animal bones buried in the foundation.
Yeah, that's like voodoo, witchcraft kind of stuff. I don't know.
Voodoo witchcraft, but it was on a slaughterhouse or livestock farm piece of land.
Which kind of discounts that, so I'm not sure.
Interesting. And this comment right here, same reaction I pretty much had. I love your military dad's reaction. Gladys cracks me up. He named the spirit Gladys.
Gladys the ghost.
Huh. That's all we have for you guys today on this episode of Haunted America. If you'd like to call in and leave a voicemail with your own haunted story, give us a call at 716-389-4662 or email us hauntedamericapodcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next time for another episode of
Haunted America.